the attendance link in the chat box. Right. So, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Darul Hikmah Library, we wish to extend our warm welcome and thank you to our special guests and all participants to this session on online training session on subscribed library database, Proquest Dissertation and Thesis Global, which is also known as a PQDT Global. So we are very honored today to have our invited speaker to share her expertise and knowledge on Proquest database. As you know, Proquest is the world's most comprehensive curated collection of multidisciplinary dissertation and thesis from around the world. So ladies and gentlemen, let me share a little bit of background of our speaker. Here, Miss Kurinji Mala has over 20 years of successful learning and customer experience practice in transforming customer relationship, value business stakeholders. She has vast exposure in the information service industry and have delivered many training and webinar sessions, workshops, and seminars to professional and academic institutions across Southeast Asia. Always embraces customer experience in every aspect of her journey. She obtained Bachelor of Economics degree from University Kebangsaan Malaysia and Master of Business Administration from Cardiff Metropolitan University, United Kingdom. So while listening to her, you are free to post questions in the chat box and we will read the question during the Q&A session. So without further ado, I would like to invite our speaker, Ms. Kurinji, to deliver her sharing. Ms. Kurinji, please welcome.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Liana, for a warm introduction and warm welcome. And I would like to thank Puan Aida for organizing this session. Yeah, she's been back and forth emailing me to organize this session. And thank you for all of you who are attending this session. And this is my very first session with IIUM. Yeah, so ever since I've joined Proquest, but prior to that, when I was in my previous organization, I have been conducting training for the IIM law faculties some years ago, many years ago. So I'm only new to now with Proquest, with IIUM, but I have been very familiar with the IIUM team in the past, yeah, some years ago. So again, without further ado, we have already lost some minutes. So without further ado, let me share my screen. And for all of you, feel free to share your questions. In the chat box, Ms. Liana is monitoring. We can answer the question in between, or we can also hold on until we come to the last part of the session. Okay, so Proquest Dissertation and Thesis is one interesting database. I'm sure most of you have heard about it, have used it in the past, but there are some good features, some of the features that is very relevant to research, yeah, that I'm going to emphasize in this session today. So let's move on. Let's move on with the objective. Okay. So as you know, when we have a learning session, we will always have the objective to set. So we know at the end of the session, do we achieve what we wanted to achieve? So first thing is, because I believe you are, some of you might be existing users, some of you might be new to this platform, some of you might have just gone into here, a little bit in here and there. So I'm going to cover this from the, from the basic to understanding the content, what you have in Proquest Dissertation and Thesis, what is Proquest Dissertation and Thesis, and how to get to access to this. I'm sure you know how to get to access to this platform through your library portal. But once you are there, how do I find the information? There's so much of information, overwhelming information, and how do I use the right techniques to find the information? So that's the number two, finding the information with using the right techniques. The third one is also to understand the value and the usage of Proquest Dissertation and Thesis. So many of you might not be really exposed to this content and how this content can support you in your research in various topics, not only in the content type, but sometimes we do not know what topic to start with. So you can see some examples of dissertations, the actual dissertation done by users across the world in this platform. And finally, the last part is I have got my documents, I have downloaded, and how do I extract this into my citation management system so that I can have an easy, when I start writing, I can make a references easily. So that will be managing, curating, organizing this information, and along the way, as a researcher, I'm sure you will like to keep yourself updated what's happening with your domain. If there's any new content is being added, so you can also create alert. So four things, yeah. One is understand the content coverage, the search techniques, the value of Proquest dissertation and thesis, and also how do I manage the content once I find the right content. The four things that we're going to discover. So I'm going to give you very quick introduction about this Proquest dissertation and thesis. Proquest actually begins to collate and disseminate the dissertation and thesis in 1939. So along the way, with the progress in year 2000, a lot of feedback says, oh, these dissertation theses are very US centric, and then Proquest dissertation start expanding to other countries like UK, to Asia, to Europe, and now lately it's expanding in Southeast Asia. I will talk more about it shortly. Yeah. So now with the whole from 1939 to current, we have this platform here that what you are looking at, yeah, what you're using it right now. Okay, so you know that all this research, the topic of research is driven by the global challenges. So we know we have a lots of global challenges, right, from the climate change to human rights to infectious disease to migration, peace and conflict, democratization, and also the digital divide. Yeah? So we have lots of issues, or research is actually driven by the global challenges. Likewise, I'm sure some of your research also must be related to some of these global challenges. Okay. Now, next thing is, so we know that right now, academic research is changing. Yeah, if it's in the past, we are very reliable. We are just rely on one type of sources. But now, with the technology advancement, a lot more content is being visible to you. A lot of content are, it's available through the databases, to your information services, and etc. So you are now able to find information not only from scholarly journals. So you can have some alternative access to the conference papers, to the working papers, or even to the dissertation and thesis that we are going to look at shortly. Now we know that we are going to look at uncover the undiscovered. That means we know there's a lot of findings and research done across the world. It's never been discovered. So only 25, apparently this is based on the research, only 25% of the dissertation that it's contributing to the future scholarship. That means once this research is done, even though there's a recommendation for future recommendation, but no one has taken it up to the next level because it was not quite discovered. So 75% of the dissertation and these are undiscovered, and these are untapped resources, which is available to all of us in the form of Proquest dissertation and thesis. Okay, so that is something you want to take note. Okay, holistic participation with dissertation and thesis. IIUM being the well-known large university, yeah, being an academic institution, it should be part of the dissertation and thesis, not only accessing the content, accelerating your discovery, but also if you look at it on my left here, hold on. If you look at it from my left here, there is an amplify. So amplifying means when you are doing your research, when you are doing your research, either your research papers or you're doing your dissertation and thesis, or you're doing your other project papers and so on. If you want that to be amplified and you want the content to be visible to the entire world, then you should be participating in this activity, this project or this partnership with Proquest. Yeah. So one is you you find the information through this dissertation and thesis. You use this as a reference material. At the same time, when you produce your findings, your research, you would like to also amplify it to the other users, your research community as well. So it's a larger community. So you can use the same platform to do so. And finally, once you have amplified, if you already put in or contributed content to this platform, as an organization, as an institution, your institution can analyze it and say, okay, how many of my research is being sorted after by other institution? Who is looking at my research? Which university is looking at my research? So you can also analyze that information through your to the platform, the same platform. Yeah. So this is what I want to tell you. It's now in Malaysia, we are accelerating. We are getting users, institutions to contribute to the content. So in Malaysia, we have multimedia universities, and the other one is the NCFS, also part of these contributors, and the rest of them already been in the contributing process, but have not completely contribute yet. And it's also expanding in Indonesia, Singapore, Philippines, and Thailand in Southeast Asia. So I think IIM should be part of the contributors as well. If we want to talk, we want to see how we can do that, we can talk about it towards the end of the session. Okay, now we see how you can maximize the use of this content that you have in this platform. So what you have here is a content of 5.3 million. Now it's 5.3 million. Last year was somewhere 5 million. Now it's 5.3 million. And you have about 3 million content, 3 million dissertation and thesis in the full text format. The 5 million is abstract as well as full text, but the 3 millions is completely full text content. And which country has represented? There are over 60 countries. You can see these are countries that has been represented, providing content through this in this platform. And more than 4,100 universities has represented. So that means you are accessing to the research done by 4,100 universities across the world. And the best part is because every year its content is being loaded, and more than 200,000 content is being loaded here. That means it's evolving. So you can see some development or some new updates, new development in your research as well. So it's evolving information that you can find here. Okay, now why is it important to you? So whenever we want to do research, this when we ask question to the students every time, what are the challenges, or even researchers, what are your challenges, is to to find to complete a dissertation or the research, because you're not able to find the right information, right details, and so on. So now by having your 5.3 million work with the 3 million full text, it actually provides you the scholarly examples. Yeah, so especially if you want to see, okay, I have this broad topic. I'm not sure which one should I move in. So you've been probably doing your background research in the past, but now having access to this, you can go in and see, oh, these are examples. This research has been done, but I want to do differently for my country, for my region, and so on. So you have a scholarly examples here. Number two is you will see unique and emerging research. That means emerging research. That means it's a new research. If it's not very well known, but you also can't find information through your scholarly journals. So you can actually use this as an alternative source to look up for information for the emerging research with new insights as well. Then thirdly, this content, it's when you have the full text, the full information, it also, you can see the whole detail, the table of content, where at the final part of it, where the conclusion and the recommendation comes in. So you can see the recommendation, you can see the contribution, the limitations, and the recommendation for the future. So that is where you want to focus and say, okay, what is the gap for this research? Can I close the gap by doing some work to manage the gap? So you will get an idea from there. And then finally, it is because it is this content it's going through the Proquest dissertation, Proquest editorial review, because once it's given to or even sent to Proquest, it goes through editorial review and enhancement with the robust indexing, which is same as the Proquest platform. So discovering the content will be much more easier. And thirdly, and the next one, finally, yeah, the in-depth content, the in-depth research you will not find elsewhere. You will find it in the dissertation and thesis alone. Yeah, you have like 3 million full text. Okay, so that is why it's very important. Just for your quick understanding, who are the contributing institutions? So very quickly, if you look at it, there are some of the top 200 universities, ranked universities are also part of the contributors here, and who are the universities are using this content. These are also the contributing university, including also the users of the content. You can see very quickly from here. And this is just to show you that you can see what subjects. So in your mind, you probably think, okay, what subject is it covered? What can I find? It is a multidisciplinary database. So just to show you just last year, the Q2, what content is being added, you can see the content is from various subjects. So just to show you on that only. And there is always, this is to show you that is always a tracking on the highly accessed dissertation. So you also can go to the site. I will share the sites, the link to the sites later in this session. So you can go to the site and see why is this particular master's thesis is being accessed so many times. It's highly accessed, right? You want to have a quick look on that as well. Okay, this particular information is available on the open web. Okay, now the area across. Okay, so the participants today could be coming from various, experts from different subjects, or your research can be from different subjects and so on. So if you look at my screen on my right here, so you can see the coverage of the content is from business to architecture to social sciences to biological science to environmental to health and medical as well. Yeah, so and geosciences, you can find those information here. And the next slide is basically to show the more granular, the multidisciplinary subjects in a granular topic. So you can see the bigger the size, you can see the more the content you will be able to find in this collection. Okay. Right. Okay. Now coverage. So we're coming back to coverage. So again, when you look at on my left here on the statistics, so you can see US is still being the top contributor, but along with that, you will see UK is part of it, China, including Hong Kong and India, participating the greater Asias in contributing the content, and of course in Europe as well as South Africa. And like I said, it is now expanding in Malaysia. So we have a couple of Southeast Asia content also available through this platform. I can show you how you can locate that later. Okay. Now, so remember that the first part, now you know what we have, what content do you have, what type of information, how you can make use of this content and so on. So you know about that. Now the second part is always when we talk about databases, most of you know, when you have been in the research journey for many years, individual databases has their own way to respond to your query. So every time when you put in your search term, not all databases return the same results, yeah, because every database has got own way to respond to a query. So all of us are very comfortable, very conveniently been using Google. So, but it doesn't work like Google. That's why you need to pay a little bit of attention to how to get the things right. That's it. Maybe a few seconds just to understand how it works. That's it. Then you will know how to find the information. So just like any other databases, Proquest platform also, respond to the Boolean operators, the phrase searching, the filtering, use the narrow filtering options, word variance defaults, lookup list, and truncations and proximity operators and etc. But if you want, you don't worry about all this, because the best part is we have actually have a video e-tutorial that talks about the basic search, the advanced search, the search tips, and the publication searches. It is all, we have it in the e-tutorial format. There are about 4 videos. It will only take 2 to 3 minutes of your time to understand the searching. I won't go into very much detail in that. Just give me a minute if I can just send it through your chat box. Hold on a second. Okay, just keep a lookout on your chat box. There are 4 video links that I have sent. That's all about basic search, advanced search, search strategies, and publication search. Publication search may not be relevant to PQDT or Proquest dissertation and thesis, but if you're using the whole platform as a whole, it will be useful. Later on, we will see the details when I'm going into the live demo. So here, very quickly, again, how Proquest will respond to your query. So every one of you, when you come to this platform, you already have your search keyword map, your mapping. You've done your keywords, collections of keywords. You have done your background searches. You have the synonyms. You have the related terms. You have the medical terms. You have the technical terms. Everything is already been done. So when you come, you will just put in the terms here. So most of the time, your term will be more than 2 words, right? So sometimes, even though we put more than 2 words, our intention is to see the term as a phrase. So if you want that as a phrase, when you put in a term like artificial intelligence, Proquest platform will read this as artificial and intelligent. But what you want is artificial intelligence as a phrase, so you put in a quotation mark. That's it. Very simple. It applies for many databases, so you just remember that. The rest of it is very simplified. The singular and plural noun, the comparative and superlative adjectives, the spelling variances between the US, British is all simplified. That means you don't have to worry. The system will automatically recognize it. So that's all. The second, I won't go through every of these because I have shared with you the search techniques video, so you will look at that. But I feel that this all is very important you share. So especially when we have many other synonyms, or we have the related terms, or when we have looked up for the thesaurus, we find that any additional terms, we want to expand our key terms, we need to use all. So it doesn't recognize the dash, doesn't recognize the comma, and so on. Yeah. So you need to look up, you need to expand it using or. So indigenous or natural or organic or original and so on. So because you already have a set of keywords here. Okay. So I won't go to the rest of it. You will learn through the videos. But this one particular one I would like to share because I find this very important. Whenever we want to start putting in a key term, just pause for a few seconds to think, could this term will have variances or not? So if there is a variances, maybe you need to identify the root word and just add the asterisk here. So it will find for the rest of it. It's very important to do this because every time, sometimes we miss the important article just because we don't put in the variances. We don't look up for the variances. Yeah. So the system may not know, okay, either you are looking at economies or you're looking at economics. So by doing so, it will be able to find the right article. Because this content is done by users, across so many thousands of users, or the authors are, different from different background, how they structured, in what context they structured, we do not know. So use this asterisk. Yeah. Okay. So that's very important. Okay. Now I take a little bit time to explain all this is because once you know how the system works, once you know how to use the search function, the rest of it will become very easy because you are the expert of your topic. You know what you want. But if you know how to apply the technique correctly, you will find the right things easily. So I take a little bit of time. So hope you're okay with that. The advanced search form. So whenever we do an advanced search form, why do we do an advanced search form? It's because we want to find the information more accurately. So find the more targeted information, to find the right information. with limited effort or less effort. Okay, so that's why we have the advanced search form is always incorporated into any databases, which comes with the search fields. Why is the search fields important is because it will tell you, okay, if I want an article where I want the article talks about leadership, come at the, I want all the articles with the title talks about leadership or Internet of Things or transformation or the fourth industrial revolution. So whatever that you want to look up for, you can put it here. Okay, select a document title and put in your key term here. That means it will only give you articles with the title that you have entered the key term with. So it's a lot more targeted. And also use the abstracts. Abstracts, as you know, as a researcher, you know how important is the abstract component in your research paper. So abstract is important for two reasons. One is if you don't do the abstract right, it is very difficult to discover. The content may not be discovered correctly by the other users, or if you want your reader to discover it, it's not able to discover. So it's very important to have the when you are doing your abstract, make sure that you have incorporated all the key term, all the possible key term that you think the user will use to search for your article. So likewise, so we assume every authors will have that mindset. So when we want to do a search, we can also focus into the abstracts itself. Okay. So that is one example. Let me go through the details later, but right now we just move on. Okay, so this is the e-learning. The E is missing here. The e-learning tutorial. When you click on the link that I shared, this is where you come to. It will take you through how to use the the platform and sharing with you how the basic search works, what should you do, how can you search using the basic search and so on. So that is very easy, 2 to 3 minutes only. Take your time just looking at it. So these are all the links that I have sent. Okay, now Proquest dissertation and thesis is where you can efficiently discover your collections of the research collection. So how it works is whenever you have not identified your topic, if you have a broad subject in your mind, and you want to come here into this platform and to see is there any research on this broad topic. In fact, when you come to this platform, you can actually expand the concept. Sometimes you do not know, you're probably looking at one view of this research, but when you come to this platform, it will give you a lot more broader views of your research, either your subject or your topic that you're looking at. And not only that, when you are here, when you find one good article, and you can actually evaluate it and go further from there. For example, if you find one dissertation, that is actually a references and the citation by part of it, together with the recommended content as well. So it will actually help you to expand it. Just with one document, you are able to expand your research into other areas, to discover the other sources that's within your research. Okay. So let's go back to very simple. This is a platform. It's a research platform. So what you need to understand is what you want. What is the objective of your research? So if your objective of your research is, I have no idea of what topic to go in, but I know my subject is all about educational technology. For example, yeah, this is just an example. So you may come from a different technical or very specific medical or health related research, or it can be from the halal related research. Yeah, you may want to look up from the very broad topic because you do not know what you have here. So now use the subject like educational technology, just an example subject, then you will see that you find quite a number of results. So this educational technology can be from different subjects. So you can see the subjects, either is educational technology specific, or is it focusing on higher education, or is it teacher education, or is it adult education? This is what I was saying. So you are expanding you are now discovering more ideas of your education technology. You get an idea on which research that you want to embark on. So that is what I was saying about subject. And these are all available in this platform. And index term. What is index term? Index term is more granular term given by the author of this dissertation and thesis and say, this is my research, this is my keywords that is relevant to my research. So then you can see, okay, maybe I can look at distance education, distance learning, technology integration, or whatever. So it's all about how you can, just from the educational technology, now you are exposed to more other terms that you want to, you may want to explore in future. Okay, and on my left here, you see that I can also see what's the timeline of the research. If I want it, the current trend, of course, I can reduce this to the current trend and so on. Okay, now the next one is when you are already know what you want, you already have this term in your mind. Machine learning is your research. So you basically you put in your machine learning here and say, give me all the dissertation and thesis where there's a title on machine learning. The title of the dissertation is talking about machine learning. At the same time, there is a discussion about machine learning at the abstract. This is what it means. Okay, so you can find it and you can zoom into the index terms that you want to explore, whether it's deep learning or neural network or machine learning or whatever. Okay, now next is this is very important. So sometimes we want to also look at what some of the top universities, some of the prestigious universities out there, what are their research about? Okay, maybe irrelevant to your research, irrelevant to microbiology, irrelevant to your medical research that you are working on. You want to see what is the research done by the other institutions. Okay, so now you can also combine it and say, I want to search on this is just an example, microbiology, but I want to see what the institution, the Cornell University have come out with, what are the findings from them. So there you can also look at the more other topics relevant to biology, like even food science or food security and so on. You can go on looking at that later. Okay, and also the publication date, you can say, give me the last 10 years or last 5 years or last 8 years of trend. So I don't want the older one because I'm probably looking at the current trend. Okay, so not only that, when you zoom into that dissertation and thesis, most of you you're coming from research background, so you know how important is this content, the table of content. So for you to see what content has been included in the introduction and the literature review, how the literature review has been conducted, and finally the last part of it is this here, the conclusion with the limitations and the recommendation for future, of course with the abstract as well. So this will give you what is this research has been done in the past, what was wrong, what was the limitation, and to how you can take this with filling in the gap in here in our region, in our country, how we can make use of those content. So you can use some of this example in this platform. Okay, and when we talk about the diving deeper, is basically when you have one article, one good article, you can go look at the references. That means you are able to see the references used for this particular dissertation. Then you can expand looking at that particular source as well, those sources as well. And also, if you go a bit more, so you also have in the relevant references, you also have cited by, this particular article is cited by so many. So you want to see, you want to rate, to see whether how the seminal articles, the seminal literatures that is relevant to your research as well. Okay. So on my right, these are all documents which I shared the references. That means they assume that since they're sharing the references may be relevant to your research. Okay, so you can see that. And then this is a new feature that's been embedded in this platform recently. So if you look at this, there is actually, like I said, the references and the citation is there. At the same time, you will see the foundational research on the right here. So this is dissertation and thesis. So if I have any of my if any of my references is being used in other references in other articles, then I will see that it's actually a foundational research will show up and said how many has been cited by how many other literatures like scholarly journals and so on. This is mainly on scholarly journals. If the literature has been cited in the scholarly journal, or not the literature, the references from the literature have been cited here as well. But at the same time, you will also see the similar dissertation. Similar dissertation means, okay, this is my dissertation from this New York University speech motor complexity. But if I want to see if any other dissertation is relevant to this dissertation, then you can look at the similar dissertation here with the similarity index. The higher the index, of course, the closer it is to your research. Yeah? So you will see that as well. Okay. Okay, I want to go into the live demo now. Just give me a minute. Let me see if there's any questions so far. Just give me 1 minute, yeah. I'm trying to open this. Okay, got it. Okay, so I'm sure from your library portal, if you go into the online resources, online databases, if you go for Proquest database, you will be able to come to this platform by entering your credentials. Yeah, make sure that you enter the right credentials. You are able to come here. So with that, if you go into, if you click on the Proquest database, most likely you will come to see, if you see the 6 database, not to worry. So you're basically seeing the different database in one platform. So what you have, let's see the detail view. So what you have right now is this first one is the coronavirus research database. That means this is a complementary database by Proquest. So every institution will have this as a database. And you have some ebook central collection, the books from the ebook central collection. And you also have education collection. Education collection means the content that you have here will support users from the education research that's relevant to education. And you do have the health and medical collections as well. And the Proquest dissertation and thesis. So what you will find in the rest of this, you will find scholarly journals, conference papers, working papers, some newspapers, trade journals, magazines, and etc. From this actually a complete database with the scholarly journals and so on. But what you will find here is purely the Proquest dissertation and thesis. Yeah, so this is what I'm going to take you through today. But along with this, I would suggest you also have the publicly available content database together. If you are doing research on Proquest dissertation and thesis, you can specifically go here. But if you want to have more research on the dissertation and thesis global, you can also include this. But right now, if I just want to focus on this, I can click, yeah, just to go into this database alone. Okay, just for me, I just want to show you the differences. But my suggestion is if you don't want to change, you can also search across all the content at the same time. There is no issue, no problem. But you can, if now for your, to understand how it works, I just want to show you how you can use this platform specifically on Proquest dissertation thesis. Okay. So this is the platform that when you come to, again, remember you have option to do the basic search, advanced search, and you can browse the content as well. But these are the two mainly highly used content by users when they are using Proquest dissertation and thesis. Okay. So basic search means when you want to search, just like, I want to know if there any research on a specific research on, so for example, let me take some example here. So before that, this research, it covers multidisciplinary subjects. Yeah, so your research can be from arts to business to economics, business and economics, education, social science, natural sciences, mathematics, physical science, health and medical, and also including some engineering related topics as well. It's all here. I have done the research in the past, so I will know how it works. So let's say if your research is on something very basic, you just want to know, I want to do a research on, hold on a second, let me just pick up some examples. I'm going to use food security as an example. Yeah, just let's say this is just you want to search anything to with regards to food security. So if you put in something like that, food security, remember it will read this as food and security, but what you may want is food security directly. So you can put in the quotation mark. And what happens here when you search by basic search, it will go through the entire dissertation from the title to the abstract to the full text to the references everywhere and see if there's any food security. Then it will give you the results based on that. So it can be overwhelming. Sometimes it's not exactly what you want. Maybe you find one or two articles is relevant. As you go down, it may not be relevant. So for you, if you want this to be more specific, to be more targeted, that's where the advanced search form comes. Yeah, in advanced search form, you still can do anywhere. The basic search is basically the anywhere. But now you said, I want to search for document title. I want to look up for food security. Yeah. Okay, now it depends on your objective. Sometimes when you come to this platform, you just want to know, is it, I'm going to start on a topic. I want to find, is there any articles, any dissertation on this? So you can use the anywhere. But if you're already like specifically looking for some specific articles, like, you just want to talk about food security or food related issues. So you can use the title. But if you use title alone, you may not get every others if it is not discussed in the title. If they don't put it in the title, but they discuss in the abstract, then you will miss it. So what I would suggest is you have your term here, put in food security at the abstract. Okay, why is important for you? And this is what you must take note. Food security was to appear either at the title level, articles with the food security, or remember this, usually is default by N, or food security also discussed at the abstract. If you want to be more specific, you can also put in the quotation mark here. Okay. So you don't have to put in so many terms. You can search one by one. You can find that information. Then moment you find it, and then you abstract it and put it into your citation management system. So from like 30,000, probably a couple of thousand earlier, now it's a lot more specific. Earlier was lesser, sorry, it was title only. But now I opened up and say food security can also appear at the abstract. So right now, it either appear in both, in the titles and the abstract, or it's either in the title or in the abstract. So you will see it is more relevant to you if you want to find information that is important to you. From here, of course, you can go in and look at subjects. Okay, within the food security, I want to see the subjects that is being exposed to me. So either is it from the which segment that I want to see the food security? Is it from the sustainability perspective, or the agriculture productions perspective, or it is from any other perspective that you are looking at it for the food security from a different perspective. Yeah, so you may want to see either welfare or some other perspective. So what you can do now easier is to look at it is to put this in the alphabetical order. So then you can see, okay, maybe which one that I want to focus on. This is just an example, okay, or maybe food supply and so on. So the next one is remember the index term. The index term is the one the authors has actually given to put it into this platform. So it will be very specific to the research they have done. So you can see from here again, you either see which one that you want to go to based on the key terms. And the other part that you want to see which university has actually done the most highest research on food security. So you can go zoom into that university and see what is the findings like, what's their direction of their research on food security, what kind of topics they do on the food security and so on. This is just an example on food security. So like I said, your research can be any. So I know it's many of you are from a different background. I may not be able to cover for everyone. I just take some examples. Okay, now let's say I think there are some coming from the doing research with regards to halal related research. So you may not find a lot of information here, but you basically want to see is there any halal related topics. So what you can do is you can put in something like that, halal at the all subject and indexing, okay, to see is there any relevant topics on that. So you see it's very limited, but from here, but at least you know this is talking about halal cosmetic industry comparison between Qatar and Malaysia. Yeah, so this is done by this is, let me see this university. Okay, yeah, this is from the Ahmad bin Khalifa University in Qatar. So you can get some ideas from here, not only looking at the table of content, yeah, from the table of content, inclusion of what content in the introduction and how the literature review, the coverage of the literature review, the methodology. Yeah, sometimes when you read scholarly journals, you may not get detailed methodologies, the research methodology, but here it's very detailed out with the research methodology. And the conclusion part, this part here. What's the contribution, at the same time, what's the recommendation for the future? You may want to have a quick look from there. And let's say it's something that you want to explore in future. You can also look at the okay, sometimes not on all the dissertation and thesis you will see the references. Yeah, some you don't see the references, so you can of course go into the detail, the full text to get the details of the references and find it accordingly. So this is just one example that I show, but sometimes your term can be very specific. You know what you want. You are actually doing some research on this very technical term, which I'm not sure how to pronounce also. Let me see, just put in here. Some of you will be very familiar, right? Gas chromatography, mass spectrometer or spectrometry, metry or whatever, sorry for the pronunciation. So if you say that I want to do this, you can also search it. Okay, if you notice, I have got asterisks here. Why did I put this asterisk is, so I know with my background, some little bit of background searches that I know, it could be also meter, it could be also metry, or it's up to the researchers how they have written it, right? So you can leave it like that. So you want both to be discovered. And here you can, if you are doing for the first time, you can just search and see, would there be any enough documents for me to talk about this particular research, for example. Okay, so there's a lot of research, lots of research on this gas chromatography. Yeah, this is a lot. So it's all spectrometry and spectrometry. So if there's also spectrometer, it will also look up for the spectrometer along the way. So if you want to go in quick glance like that, but at present it's only limited to 20. You can change that to, okay, you actually can change it somewhere here. Yeah, here you can change to 100 at one go and see what other topic that you want to have a quick look. Don't forget to go and explore the subject, the index, and the institution if you want to. This is why I'm showing you. This is to show you that this is a very specific term, and if you can find it. But what I did just now was only to look at anywhere. But now I can say no. Be more specific. Let it appear at the title or at the abstract. This is the same concept that I did earlier. Okay, so I can put this into the abstract. So Now I will not get too many results, but I will get more relevant results compared to earlier. I will still get more relevant results where there will be either discussion at the title or the abstract. So you can see yourself. Yeah, you can see for yourself. Now the other thing is what you want is you want to get an idea from here. You want to expand your research. You want to have the foundational research. Yeah. So that means you get the citation connection. Citation connection. Now you search, you will only get results with the citation connection. Those without the citation connection will not be here. You probably have explored it earlier, but the one with the citation connection that talks about the gas chromatography, yeah, this is one of the research I found from your site. So I just wanted to show you some example. Okay, so let's say it's this one. So you found here. So if you want to see the references, you can see the references here. But at the same time, you can also click on this and look at the foundational research. Okay. So what is actually a foundational research? So if you put in your I button here, so you can see foundational research is a list of records from neighborhood related sources that cite at least 5 documents cited by the seed document. This is the seed documents. If it cited the 5 documents, if the 5 documents is also cited in this article, then you will see that's relevant to you. It assumes that it's relevant to you. Of course, you can have a quick glance. If you don't see that, if it's not relevant, then you can look at the other. Okay, now this is the dissertation. This is all scholarly journals, and the one here is similar dissertation. So they're saying this is also similar dissertation. For those who are coming from this background, roughly will know is it relevant or not. But you can see the similarity index is 30%. So you may want to explore and see if it's, you can get an idea about that, the same topic, just expand it more and more in details. So if you want to zoom into the references, you just zoom into the references from here. Okay, takes a bit of time, hold on. So the references are all listed here. The one with the link, hyperlink, that means you can access it through this Proquest platform. If those without the hyperlink, that means it's not available through Proquest platform. You may need to look up, source it, you source it from other sources, look up, find the information from other sources. But what it gives you is, these are all the content, or these are the sources being used to come out with this research. So from here, you get an idea. This research is, outcome of this, the references from here. So you can now use that reference to find the references elsewhere. If you don't find it here, that means you can use your library portal. Your library will have lots of other content literature to look up for. So you can use other alternative sources. Okay. Okay. So now coming back to this, so what we have done so far is we have explored the dissertation and thesis platform from here. So if you want to be more, you want to see more broader concept, I would say just change this database, go back, include the publicly available content as well, and now use to search. Use the selected research. Now the search will go through both the dissertation and thesis as well as the publicly available content as well. Yeah, so you will go through both the information. Okay, now let's say I have another search term. So for example, let me look at other example. Okay, so coming back to this. So we know how to use the search fields from here. Yeah. Okay, now the question is, if I want to find, is there any research done by this specific country? So you can use university institution location, right? You want to see Malaysia. Or if you want to see any Middle East research done by Middle East, or you can also use Singapore if you want to, or just put in Middle East, or maybe you can be specific Turkey or somewhere you want to. Just leave it like that. So that means either any of this research to be shown, any of this dissertation and thesis from this country I want to explore. So just search it by using university institution location. So of course you have in the Turkey's lots of research, but there are most of them in the Turkish language. Yeah? So most of them in the Turkish language. So if you want to say, okay, well, now I know that research exists by looking at the English version, you know it exists. What you can do is you can also, okay, you should maybe, okay, here, the language. So you can say, okay, give me the language specifically on English if you want to. So you can confine it through the language as well. Although you wanted to just see what research has been done by this country and so on, you can see from here that is English version, the content in the English language, and from where. So you see that you have so Malaysia, Singapore, and so on. So for Malaysia, if you click on Malaysia, that is actually about, here you go. So there are some dissertation from Sunway. I think Sunway is also very new in getting their content in here. Multimedia University is one of the top university in Malaysia, has already distributed the content. So you can see the dissertation, not by the country, but what you want to see is what is the research like. Okay, what is their research like? So you can go again to look at the research by the subject, and you can also look at the index terms here. Okay, so it depends on your research objective. If you are just discovering information to say, okay, what is this country, what they are in this, their institutions in this particular country, what their research is all about. Maybe it varies from other countries. It's just for your own knowledge, but you can use this platform to do all that research accordingly. But if you're very specific and say, no, I'm not going to go by country, but I know which university that I want to, use as a benchmark of my research, then you use the institution from here. So again, depends on your research topic. If your research is very much technology related, technical related, or if you're religious related searches, or if it depends on your research. So you can look at the institution accordingly. So I just use one example using Stanford University. You just use Stanford. So I want to see whether is there any research by Stanford here that actually have quite huge results from Stanford. But I just add to search. So I can add MIT, I can add Princeton, I want to add any other, some of the prestigious universities that I want to explore, you can add it. But your interest might be different. So you just add the institution that you want to look up for, yeah? So why it's important is what you can do is you can see, okay, Stanford, what is their research like? If your research is on and something similar to me in terms of the technical searches on mechanical engineering or mathematics related, maybe I want to have a quick look on that. So for example, mathematics. So you can see if there's anything that is you want to explore, you can explore it from here. Okay, so another way is also use this, for example, use the subject. So you can go by subjects. You can have a combination of subject as well to do that, to look up for information from individual institution, or you can go by subjects. You can have a both combination as well. You can also use the index term. So there is the manuscripts. If you don't select it, this is automatically selected. But I can tell you most of the dissertation is mostly doctoral dissertation. Masters are also available, but you have more doctoral dissertation here. If you want to confine your language, you can do a confine your language, select the language from here as well. Okay, now what we have done so far is, we know what content we have. We use the search techniques to find some information using the advanced search, the search fields, the lookup fields. Yeah, this is index fields because it's being indexed. So we already know how to find the information. like it's you, because you are from a different background, so in your mind you will have a different research topics. Yeah, so you can use this platform, find out a little bit more on that later. If you're first time using it, use the subject indexing, use a broader topic, so you will find some ideas from here. Okay. Okay, before I go to the next part, which is more managing the content, so I just wanted to show you on this part as well. So for example, if I were to just to go in here, if I click on any of these, and if I look at the abstract, right? So of course you would have read the abstract. As you go into the next part, you can see what are the subject is relevant to that, and you can look at the titles. This is the title, but you probably look at the classification and so on. Before I go one more step, I want to show you another example. So again, this is okay for security. So it comes under the sociology and agriculture, but the identifier. So you can also, you know, if it's something that is new to you, if you want to know about it, you can click on it, right? Just to click on it to see, is there any research on it? So you can go in to look up for those researchers. Oh, but for this is only one, but sometimes if you have the common ones, you will have a lot more research on it. So this is another area you want to explore. Okay, now what happens? I have done a couple of searches, and these are all stored here. Will this be here forever? So that is the next question. I'm sure you have come across, if you are a user of this platform, you will realize that, if you will have, sorry, I was just looking at the chat box. I will answer the question shortly. So what you will have, think, okay, will this be here forever? No, it is, if you put a cursor, it says a recent search. And every time you sessions out, you do a search, you leave it and you go, this research history will be no longer there. So how do you want to save this information? Because you want to come back, continue your research. You are not just doing your research just one day, but you want to continue your research. How do you save it? So that's very important. That is why you have, when we talk about the last part, organizing the information, curating the information, you have a folder. This is the folder where you can save all the folders, save all your content, not only documents, but you can also save your searches, you can create your alerts, you can create your RSS feed. So to do so, you must, system needs to know who wants to create the alert, who wants to save the documents, right? The system needs to know. So that is why there is an option, a folder within this platform. So if I already have my folder. So if I click on my sign in, it will take me to my sign in page, but I won't be able to sign in your platform. But if you are a user, you want a folder, you need to create an account. Okay, create account is very easy. All that you do is enter your email address. My suggestion is to use your institutional email, but other emails can be used, but it's good to use your institutional email. Okay, then use your password. Sorry, you enter your password, your wished password. Yeah, the password that you want to use here is quite simple, and confirm the password. After that, just accept the consents. Just accept it, acknowledge it, create it. It doesn't go through any approval. The moment you create it, you can use it immediately. So after that, you just sign in, right? You just go into this platform, you just sign in with your email address or the password that you have created. Okay, because this is going into your portal, I will not be able to access through my folder. Let me bring to my own access. Yeah, hold on, just give me 1 minute. Okay, so this is my portal. This is my Proquest internal portal. So this is my research account. So I can sign in to my research account just like that. Here we go. You know, we are coming nearing to 4:30, but just give me, I think we can, I can share very last part, the important point in this last few minutes or so. So folders, your folders, that means if I want to share, I want to keep my documents in this folder, I can keep all my documents here and I can come back and read it later whenever I want to access to this portal. So this portal is also design responsive designed. That means you can even access it through your mobile phone. Yeah, you will have the layout nicely fall into your mobile phone, but it is not an app. But you can access it to your mobile, and if you want to quickly read, you can read it and so on. And the searches. So the searches is very important. You will not just do search one time. Your search, you will come back and you want to evaluate your content. You want to assess the content, the relevancy of your content. So you need to come back and redo your searches. So always save your searches. It's much easier for you to come back and say, okay, I want to do this search on machine learning, deep learning, neural network that relevant to, how can I monitor my flood risk, my flood forecast, my flood alert, and so on. So this example is just an example. So if you click on it, it will take you back to the research where you have done earlier with all the refined filtrations all done. So it's easier for you to go back and do your search. So now what you do, you can say, okay, I have read some of this dissertation in the past. Maybe now I continue with the 7, 8, and 9. You can read it, or I can export this. I can select this and put it into my folder. So you just put it into your folder and say, yes, I'm going to put this into my folder. So now it's already in your folder. So that's how you will manage the content. It's very, very useful, the folder. So when you come back to this save your folder again, yeah, this is your folder where you go to the people icon here. Okay, it's actually opening my folder. Just now I added two dissertation, this one here. So you can see I just added that. It's available in my folder. If I've saved my searches, it will also available in my saved searches. But let's say if I want to create alert, it's very simple. How I create it is two ways. One is through this alert from here directly. Yeah, you just create this alert and say my name of this alert. This is my email that it actually takes from the registration. You can also have alternative email. Then you want what you want to receive. You want to receive newly published documents only. Okay, how frequently you want to receive. For how long do you want to receive? Depending on your research. Okay, just create the alert. Once you created the alert, the system will send you the alert according to what you have created based on what you have entered here, how frequent you want to send, all that. Okay, for those who are very comfortable with RSS feed, yeah, they're creating the RSS feed. Okay, here you go. This is the RSS feed. So you can also create the RSS feed. Let's say I want to, I don't want to receive emails. Basically, I want to monitor it from the browser. So you can now create the feed for this, right? For example, once you have created it, you have to have the extension, the RSS feed extension here. So what will happen is if there's any new topic that you already, whatever topic that you have added here, it will tell you, okay, this topic has got 33 new documents. This one has 100 over documents. This one has 100 documents as well. As you scroll down, okay, food technology, I've got 4. So these are all new, but 8 days already. So if I want to read about it, I just click on it. It will take me to my platform. So if you are already logged into the platform, it will go to the platform directly. If you have not logged in, you just have to enter your credentials. That's it. You will be able to access to the content immediately. So up to you, which is very comfortable for you. You can use either alerts to monitor the upcoming, to keep yourself updated with the research, or you can use the RSS feed depending on your comfort level. Okay. Now, the last part, let's go back. I want to go back to your ID straight away. Okay, here, coming back to this. So if I open now, you will see this empty because it's already session out. So I opened it now, it's no longer. So make sure you save it so that you can, access it later on into from your folder. It's easily accessible. So you don't have to think, what did I put in earlier? So let's say if I have another search, social emotional learning. This is more relevant to education, yeah, social emotional learning. So you want this at the title and then you search it. So now when let's say if you find some good articles, and since let's assume that you are already doing your research and you are looking for specifically on scholarly journals. So you can limit this to full text, or you can also say, I want peer-reviewed content only. So you limit it. So you now get peer-reviewed content. So well, what you can do is from here, if you want to export this content into either you want to download it or you want to export it to your citation management system. There's some way to do it. So from here, you have the HTML. HTML comes with the translation in language, but of course we don't have it in Bahasa Malaysia. The English is good for us. And then you have also the full text. It can be translated version is here, unless you want to translate in some other language. And full download it. Of course, you can download it from here, from this icon, or you can download it from here, or you can also download it from the 3 dots here. Okay, download is the popular one. Can cite it immediately. Can email all the metadata to your email, to print it, save to the documents. Yeah, and here cloud saving options. You can do a quick cloud saving. Saving to your Google Drive, to Microsoft OneDrive. Most importantly, for researchers, all of you will have your own citation management system. Some will have RefWorks, some have EndNote, some has Mendeley, some has Citev, some have Noodle Tools, EasyBee, Zotero, and so many other citation management system. So if you have different citation management system, don't worry. If you have RefWorks, you go directly RefWorks, and EndNote directly EndNote. But if you have other than that, you can always use the RIS file. Okay, use the RIS file and say, I want to import this document. Okay, I want to continue. You have to do this this way because you cannot have the full text together in the metadata. You have to import it separately. Okay, so when you come to this page, if you already associated your Mendeley desktop account to this platform, then you can export directly. But if you haven't, just go to the notepad. Yeah, just go to the notepad. You have all your metadata information here. Then go to your Mendeley, click add. Yeah, select the add and import this document. So then it will be already part of your Mendeley collection already. But if for those who want to export the full text, you need to download the full text first. You need to download into your laptop, then go to your either from RefWorks or from EndNote or even from Mendeley. You just import the full text, the full PDF text into your citation management system. Then you will get the full text in your citation management system. Okay, so that's how you will do a connections of your literatures into your system. Now the last one, for those who want to have, like, you want to do a quick analysis, finding a few articles together, you can export them into the Excel sheet, right? You will have it, all the information, all the metadata in the Excel format. If you have a couple of documents, if you want to export it, okay? So you can use many ways to maximize the content from here. So with that, I have covered all the important points you need to maximize the use of Proquest, dissertation, and thesis. But nevertheless, the same concept applies for if you are using other databases. If you're using the education collection, health and medical, of course, health and medical will focus on a lot more niche research topic that's relevant to medical, and also the other databases. So it's all the same techniques. So it depends on your research objective actually. So with that, I have covered all the important points for you for today. Hope you have benefited for this session. If any question, you just feel free to post it in the chat panel. Let me see. Now I hand it over to Ms. Liana.
Right. Thank you very much, Ms. Kurinji, for your fruitful sharing on PQDT database. So let's move. Now we have come to the Q&A session. You can write your question at the chat box and I will pass to the respective speaker to answer your question. So here we have one question here from Madam Mazna, which is the question is, if I have a thesis and want it to be in Proquest, is it possible?
Yeah. Okay, Panmazna, it's definitely possible, but you cannot have it individually because Proquest don't receive content individually, but it has to go through the institution. So that is why I was saying that I think IIM should be part of the content provider. Yeah. So being the research academic institutions, you should be part of the provider. So if to work on that is basically you just have to have the agreement between the Proquest as well as the your institution. I think it's a very simple process as long as agreed by your institution and said, okay, we will now allow you to have publish. If the institution say, I allow you to publish my content in your Proquest dissertation and thesis, that's it. The publishing time is shorter because as long as your dissertation or your thesis has been approved, because it goes through quite a lengthy process from your advisors, from your committee members to approve it. After it has been approved, we believe that is a document that can be published. So then it will be published immediately with the indexing. That's it. But Proquest do not do any other validations except for having the metadata and the indexing right. That's all. Hope I have answered your question, Madam Mazna.
Thank you very much. Dear participant, if you also may unmute your microphone and ask directly your question to the speaker if you have any question to ask. All right, we have another question here. Okay, if I want to search the paper or case study specifically in Malaysia, can we just use the same way as you just showed just now?
Yeah, you can use location as long you see at the search field. If you see location, right? Sometimes like this one, if you use the location, yes, you can find it. But remember, for the scholarly journals or other articles, sometimes the location they don't say Malaysia specifically. Sometimes they have states also, like so it's good to go and look up like that. If you put in some Malaysia states, I notice it's not just Malaysia, but also coming in with all the states and sometimes some specific places and so on. Like you see, it has different state, different cities. So you just have to pick all of them, and then you just add it to your search. That's all. So that's how you go by location. So whenever you see location, that means you can see the lookup location. So go for the lookup better, because if you put only Malaysia, then you will be limited to just the one tagged with the Malaysia. I hope I have answered that question, Cik Nur Shazana.
All right, thank you. I think there is no question from other participants. Oh, okay, we have one more. Is it about
the law article?
Law article? Yes. It's not being covered in PQDT?
Yes. Actually, there is, but the law articles will be a lot more like human rights related, criminal justice related. You will find it same way you go to. If you go to, just give me 1 minute since I'm here are you able to see my screen as well?
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay, so you can see that if you just put in some, if you put criminal justice or human rights or law, specifically law, so you can find articles relevant to that. Just go by subject, or you can go by articles if you want to. Same concept. You will find there are actually. Okay, so this is somehow is relevant to criminal justice.
All right, thank
now,
you
yeah,
very much.
you will find some climate change as well.
All right. Thank you very much, Ms. Kurinji, for answering those questions and for the great explanation. So it was a pleasure to have you with us. I believe there is so many new things that we have learned today. And since we have a limited time, so well, ladies and gentlemen, that's wrap up on our session for today. On behalf of Darul Hikmah Library IIUM, we would like to thank you all for making time to join us for this online training session. And as for today's session, actually it will be up on our YouTube channel, which is the official IIUM library. So you may rewatch it anytime you would like to. And please don't forget to fill out evaluation form provided in the chat box. And once again, we would like to express our heartfelt gratitude to the respected speaker and participant for your presence on behalf of the organization. On behalf of the organizer, we apologize for any shortcoming in handling this session. Wish you all a pleasant day and stay safe wherever you are. So with that, I will close today's sharing session with the Tasbih Kafara and Surah Al-As.
Thank you so much, Miss Liana. I've
Yeah,
been
you're
working
welcome.
with Miss Liana for some time from previous institution as well.
Yeah, I still
nice
remember
to see
you.
you here. Nice to see you. And
Thank
also,
you so much for your
Naima,
sharing.
thank you so much for organizing. And for the participants, I hope you have some, you have some takeaway. And look forward for more session in future, in coming future. With that, thank you so much.
Thank you, Mrs. Kurinji.
Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And thank you.
Dear sister, could you please upload the record
Yes,
file?
sure. We will upload this video in our YouTube channel, which is under IIUM, the official IIUM library letter.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, everyone. Have a nice day.
Thank you.